Can a circuit track sound like an OP-1? The answer might surprise you.
What do you mean? Tell me.
I've been using the OP-1 for many years now, and I've made a ton of songs on it. I really love the sounds on the OP-1 because they have this character and quirkiness to them that brings out ideas and helps flesh out the feel of the songs. It's really got its own unique sound. Now, another thing I also love is the circuit tracks, and the workflow of that device is just so intuitive and easy to make jams and songs on. So I had this thought, what if I could make the best of these two devices and combine them into one single device? The sounds of the OP-1 and the workflow of the circuit. And that got me pretty excited, and I started thinking, well, how would I do that? Could I even do that? Trying to get this to work became this thing for me, this rabbit hole that I dived in. This obsession suited me pretty well. I actually enjoyed the process. And the result of it is this pack that I've made. And now, it's done. So I thought I'd show you a little bit about what I made. Now, one of the difficulties using the circuit tracks to emulate OP-1 sounds is that the circuit only has one kind of sound engine, a pretty straightforward subtractive synthesis engine with two oscillators and a noise generator. The OP-1, on the other hand, has many different sound engines, creating sounds in many different ways. Now, I didn't set out to recreate the sound engines on the circuit. That would be impossible. But I wanted to recreate the sounds themselves, the stock sounds. That was a possibility for me. The OP-1 stock sounds are what inspires me. I don't like tweaking a single sound for hours on end. I just like to scroll sounds, get a vibe that I like, or that gives me ideas, and maybe small tweaks to fit the song I'm making. So I just wanted those stock OP-1 sounds to exist on the circuit tracks. And I thought, well, I could do that. And I could also make the macros on the circuit tracks do things differently from the way the OP-1 does it. And I did. And that was interesting in itself because you get something that has the DNA of the OP-1 but works kind of differently. The OP-1 has multiple engines, and each engine has 16 patches, which is perfect for the circuit track's 128 patches because divided by 16, that's 8 engines that I can use. So I emulated 8 of the engines and 128 of the stock sounds. And listening to these sounds again made me nostalgic for all these songs that I've made.
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. I will find you, and I will kill you. Good luck.
I'll admit some of the sounds from OP-1 were not possible to fully recreate on the circuit engine. But my goal was to create sounds that would, 1, inspire creativity and get a feel for the magic which happens when I use the OP-1 to create tracks. And the second thing is to have this musicality about the sound, like whatever the differences that the patches might have, I wanted these sounds to be very useful in the context of making tunes. So those were my two principles in recreating the sounds that were difficult to recreate, but for most of them, I was pretty happy that they came pretty darn close. This pack is available in its reduced form, 64 patches instead of 128, sort of like an LE for all my patrons. So it's a great sort of testing pack if you want to join my Patreon and try it out. If you like how it works, then you can go and purchase the full pack, which is linked below. It's just this little idea that turned into a larger obsession, which turned into this big project for myself, and I couldn't dig myself out of it. So I thought, you know, the fastest way is through, and that's what I did. I pushed through and I made this thing, and I'm out of the hole now, thankfully. I'm really proud of it, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I did making it. Also, I hope you find the inspiration in these sounds as much as I did when I was working on them.